Welcome to the reading of The Five Faces of Genius, Creative Thinking Styles to Succeed at Work, written by Annette Moser-Wellman, narrated by Alex Carrasco. Enjoy. Acknowledgments. There seems no way to separate the writing of this book from the living of a life, so in thanking those who contribute to this effort, I find myself remembering the spirits of those who have influenced me. To the many colleagues and clients who have taught me the satisfaction of an idea wrested from the heavens, may you each find your signature here. Thank you to Jane Von Marin and Jennifer Eman at Viking for their tireless energy and shaping of the manuscript, and to my agent, Jane Miller, for her insight, vigilance, and belief in this project. For their endearing grace, perseverance, and generosity, I thank those who contributed mightily to the ideas here. Marianne Ahern, Terry Alexander, Peter Bernard, Howard Behar, Colette Boecker, Carolyn Harper, Jane Melvin, Carla Poenesa, Barbara Price Martin, Jim Reynolds, Stacy Riley, Tina Sellers, James K. Wellman, Sr., and George Wishart. And to my mentors in life and work who believed in me and my dreams, Bruce Larson, Steve Hayner, Bob Lipsky, Jerry Rittman, and Tony Kollinger. To my family for their abiding love, to my sister Deborah Moser-Dolan for her steadfast care and support, to the memory of my father, Alan Malloy Moser, who taught me the joy of the hunt, to my two daughters, Constant Moser-Wellman and Georgia Moser-Wellman. In those creative spirits I rejoice daily. To my mother, Elizabeth Eileen Moser, whose buoyant spirit in life and intuition and genius will continue to bless others for generations to come. And finally, to my husband, James K. Wellman, Jr. He has been my rock, and his obsession with the truth guides me still. Chapter 1. Finding the Business Genius Within. It is my business to create. William Blake. How did Albert Einstein get the idea for the theory of relativity? What was Georgia O'Keeffe's inspiration for her paintings? How did Andy Grove create the computer giant Intel? Have you ever wondered how history's best got their ideas? Most of us believe geniuses are in the league of their own. And what we don't realize is that these highly creative people use skills we can all learn. People aren't geniuses. Ideas are. And each of us is capable of our own breakthrough ideas. Here are the thinking skills of some of the most highly inventive people in history: Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, Frank Lloyd Wright, Leonardo da Vinci, and more. When you understand their path to their ideas, how they develop breakthroughs, you'll be able to master your imagination in business. You will discover your creative style, how your imagination operates, and how to become an idea leader. You'll learn to be a more vital member of your team and to ensure that your ideas see the light of day within your organization. You will discover the parts of you that are genius. Your company needs your genius. We are in a business renaissance, and as in a renaissance, artists, scientists, poets, and thinkers are at the forefront of change. They master possibility, paint on empty canvases, and define the rules of the next age. To lead the change in business today, you'll need to think like an artist and master your imagination. Your currency is your ideas. Here's how I learned the importance of ideas. In the mid-1990s, I was a successful manager at a world-renowned advertising agency. Yet I was looking towards the future and wanted to know how I can accelerate my performance and advance within the company. A trusted colleague was on his way to a new job, and I asked him for some honest feedback, and what I heard shocked me. "Jack, tell me, what can I do to improve my work with my team?" "Well, Antoinette, you're smart. You're a great manager. You get things done. But you're too focused on strategy. You spend too much time thinking about the problem. The team wants your creative solutions. What are your ideas? You need to increase your facility with ideas." Increase my facility with ideas? I couldn't believe it. I thought my imagination was pretty good. I'd been using it for years. But his words haunted me. Not strategy, but ideas. I had to admit, Jack was right. I often tried to understand, even argue about what needed to be done, instead of how to create ideas to get there. How could I increase the quality and quantity of my ideas at work? To be more successful at work, I would have to learn to think more creatively. I decided to learn about creativity from the best, if I can understand the mental architecture, the thinking skills of the most highly creative people in history, perhaps I could become more inventive at work. I could sit at the feet of a genius and learn to improve my business imagination. I began poring over the innovations of the most well-respected artists, scientists, inventors, and business genius of history. With each one I asked, how did this mind make this contribution? What were the mental principles at work that led to the breakthrough? I found myself inspired, and it changed me. I discovered that the creative mind is the same no matter where you find it. In art, in dance, in science, even business. It took the same skills for Robert Frost to write a poem, or for Bob Dylan to write a ballad, as it did for Howard Schultz to create the idea for the Starbucks empire, or for Ray Kroc to reinvent American dining when he franchised McDonald's. The same tools of innovation used by artists and scientists to create their breakthroughs are used by business people to create breakthroughs in the industry. I had found where art meets business. I laid the examples of the breakthroughs over my desk. As I studied, 5 common principles of creativity emerged. I even gave them names so I could remember them: the seer, the observer, the alchemist, the fool, and the sage. I called the framework the 5 faces of genius, the mental architecture, the thinking skills behind some of the greatest contributions in history. I put the power of the 5 faces of genius to work at the agency, and the framework became my toolbox for creative thinking. Every time I began working on a project or had to solve a problem, I'd run through the principles in my mind. Immediately, I felt the results. I started mastering ideas, sales ideas, marketing ideas, ideas for my clients' businesses, ideas for my firm's business. I stopped worrying about the smart answers and started looking for creative answers. I began hearing the compliment, "You never come to me without an idea." I relied just not on my head, but also on my intuition and ingenuity to solve problems. I stopped living like a business manager and began living like an artist. I began to find a part of the creative genius within me. As I shared the framework with friends, coworkers, and colleagues, they immediately saw how the 5 faces of genius would help them. I heard, "I need to find a way to be more creative in what I do at work. Can you teach me?" My customers just not paying for my service. They expect ideas too. Some told me idea development was now part of their performance evaluation. I need to figure out how to be more imaginative in my job. My struggle just wasn't my own. It was the same struggle for a generation of other managers. The information economy had changed the landscape of business, and more of us realized the importance of being an idea champion at work. Today, I am the founder and president of a company called Firemark, which teaches business people to think more creatively using the 5 faces of genius. Our clients include such renowned and diverse companies as Coca-Cola, Anderson Consulting, Kraft Foods, and Starbucks. My company helps others use these skills to discover new ideas, the uncharted territory of business, and teaches them how to bring their imagination to work. In these pages, you'll find skills to master breakthroughs in the idea economy, how to navigate your imagination and find a deeper energy for your work. A seminar participant says it best: "When I began to master all the 5 faces of genius skills, I had found I had creative powers I never even knew I had. Now when I get my group together at work, say come up with ways to grow our business, I ask the questions the faces would ask, and it helps me dream big. I'm enjoying being the idea ambassador. My job is much more fun and meaningful to me." Now, some of you are saying, "But my management doesn't want imaginative solutions. I'm just expected to follow directions." Or, "My job description is about getting things done." Or, "My team has good ideas. Getting them through to the organization is the hardest part." And this may be true. There's no denying that organizations quarrel innovation. But this is what I want you to know. The most valuable resource you bring to your work and to your firm is your creativity. More than what you get done, more than what role you play, more than your title, more than your output. It's your ideas that matter. In a business renaissance, when a leading firm can crumble in a minute, like Boston Chicken, and another can be born in an instant, like Amazon.com, even your firm needs a business artist. To become a business artist, you don't have to put toys in your office or shoot your colleagues with Nerf guns. You don't have to have the word creative in your title. You simply have to commit to finding your genius within. You have to find the creative spirit worth nurturing. Dedicate yourself to discovering it. Get ready for some of the most valuable skills you may ever learn. The 5 faces of genius are the raw rubrics of creativity. And once you know them, you can apply them to your business challenges. Principles can help you master your life at work, and even your life. We live in an age of change. Don't be a person who responds to it. Be the person who creates it. The poet William Blake claimed it was his business to create. It is your business to create as well. It is finally what you create, what you contribute, what you call into being at work. That will be your personal legacy. And legacies aren't just for artists, philosophers, and Nobel Prize winners alone. A creative legacy is your birthright too. You and I spend more time working than any other single activity in our lives. Work is exactly the place that demands the most from us, but often where we expect the least. But when you pioneer creativity in your work, you find your creative spirit, and you can transform your soul and change the lives of those around you. The world is waiting to discover your genius. Begin here.